morning everyone, welcome to York, Western Australia. Made the trip here about an hour out at Perth to come and have a look at the Briggs Family Collection, also known as the York Motor Museum. Let's go and have a look through and see what they've got to display. Here we are here in the foyer of the Motor Museum. Got a couple of interesting pieces here, straight off the bat as soon as we walk in before even we get into the main part, and we're looking at the original Valiant used in Crocodile Dundee. Never Never to a Safari. Followed up by BMW Isetta police version. Love to see a police officer get out of one of these. Through the main entrance now, and just here you can see there's a lot of memorabilia behind me. You'll see magazines, pamphlets, there's lots of posters and artwork all around the entrance, along with some old caps and things like that. You know, let's go through and have a look at some of the cars. Lots of interesting stuff here. There's an Allard there. It's a beautiful 356 T5 it looks like. No, T6, sorry, Cabriolet. Stuff that we like seeing on this channel. See, it's a pretty good condition car. Right-hand drive. Looks like it's been a long time since it's been driven. We all know what that means when it comes to actually trying to start them again. Some other interesting stuff here. Morris's, an Elvis. A few Australian style cars here. We've got Ford XK or XL. Beautiful old Mercedes here. 220 cab. Look at that thing. I don't see many of those things getting around on the road. Probably all the museums now. An old FX Holden. It's the first production car in Australia for any of you viewers that aren't familiar with the Holden brand. It's an offshoot of General Motors. It's manufactured here. Beautiful Cadillac Eldorado. A lot of the cars here are have their patina from their age. It doesn't look like they're over restored or anything like that. So yeah, some pretty interesting stuff. Coming through to another room here. Got an interesting big V12 engine here. Looks like it's out of Duesenberg or a Packard or something like that. Oh, here we go. So here, Packard V12 twin carb, flathead motor, and attached gearbox too. Here we have a 1904 Napier L48 Samson. This car is a very important car historically. It was the first 6-cylinder engine to successfully be mass produced. Apparently it was incredibly smooth. It was also the very first British car to reach 100 miles per hour. That 6-cylinder engine is apparently 15 litres, can you believe, for 190 horsepower. Now the car itself has got this piping around the outside of the body here, which you can see. Now when I first saw this, I actually thought it might have been a steam-powered car or something, but apparently it's not. It's actually the designer thought it would make the car look more streamlined. It definitely does that. This very car was taken to Pebble Beach and was also voted the most historically significant car of the event for one year when Peter Briggs took it there. Now you can see the engine is absolutely amazing with all this copper piping and brass fittings. Can you imagine keeping this thing clean for concourse? It would not be easy. The car itself's got massive wheels. It's actually a very large car, even compared to modern standards. When you look at a lot of these historic cars, they tend to be quite small. And let's have a look in the cockpit here. You can see that it's the windscreen's quite small with a massive steering wheel. See if I can get it all in frame. Yeah, there we go. There is the dash, all the gauges. Have a look at those. And you can see that there is quite a large fuel tank on the back at a 15-litre engine size. I reckon this thing would rip through the fuel. Yeah, absolute beauty of a car, and they judge it right at Pebble Beach. It is definitely historically very significant. The Volkswagen 1954. A lot of this technology, a lot of you guys know, would be moved across to the 356 and then to the early 911 Porsches, including the torsion bar front suspension. Here's the cutaway of the gearbox, the boxer motor, drive shaft, There's our swing axle rear end. This is an excellent condition, the chassis. So it's never actually been driven. So let's see if we can get a look at the back here. Oh yeah, we can, good. It's our single carburettor, which the Volkswagens had. Fuel pump, metal fuel lines. You can see the oil cooler there inside the blower housing. This is a fantastic little demonstration piece. I'd be interested to know where they actually sourced this from. You can see there through the centre of the tunnel and the pressed metal chassis, how all the controls go through to there. Even to a cutaway brake master cylinder. Single circuit brakes, which all the early 356s had as well. That's right next to a 1946 very early twin oval window Volkswagen Beetle. Very original looking, not too sure when it would have been repainted or resprayed. Judging from some of the cracks in the filler, it looks like it's been restored at some point in the past. Fantastic old Dunlop tyres. I don't think they'd be too safe on the road anymore. Have a look at that. You can see the interior. It's an interesting recover they've done there on the door skins, and also the seats are open. It is open. Let's have a look in here. See, I smell it. They still smell the same. Beautiful pressing on the front dash there. Big steering wheel. Interesting how the speedo is offset to the left, really, for a left-hand drive car. And you can see there's that famous space in the back that we all got in as kids in these old Beetles. And you can see also, not that it's popped up at the moment, but we've got the indicators that flick out when the indicator is turned on. I've been fortunate enough to bump into the manager, John, and thought I'd ask him a few questions that I know a few you viewers would be interested in hearing about.
Hi there.
Yeah, so John, tell us a bit about the history of the museum.
Yeah, okay. This museum is the oldest motor museum in Australia. It was established in 1979 by Peter Briggs and James Harwood, and since that time we have, they have had thousands and thousands of visitors through here, and now it's internationally known, this motor museum, and the community took it over from Peter by purchasing the building in December of 2017. So we've actually now have been running for 8-9 months, and we've put LED lights in to brighten things up, and we're really looking after the place, and we're getting a lot of word of mouth, people coming back, and we're going quite well for a little old country town museum.
So tell me, is the museum's run by volunteers, I understand?
Yes, it's all community owned. It's run by volunteers. There's 7 people in the group that virtually manage the museum, and we've got got community people coming in and helping at the desk, and so it's been going quite well. We're very happy with the way it's been going so far, and we've got a big debt to pay back. We've got some vendor financing that we've got to cut
so
back.
Basically what you're saying is we need to get more people through the door?
Oh, well, we are getting a lot of people, but we do, and it's a beautiful place. York is 2 years older than Melbourne, actually, so it's a really old town.
It is.
It's West Australia's oldest inland town, so and the streetscape is still kept in old original condition.
Now, with the time you've been involved in the place, John, tell us what's your favourite car in the collection at the moment?
People ask me that all the time. I'd have to say, I've got to say some cars. So the old FX or the 21548.
Yep.
That belongs to West Australian Museum. There's a little Peugeot here, World War I Peugeot that.
We had a bit of a look at that earlier. Yep.
I'll show you the. This is the motor.
Oh, how's the way the hood comes off? Look at this little thing.
And this motor was Edouard Bugatti's first commercially produced engine. It's got a cross-flow head, extractors, and it's 2013. And Bugatti was starting to produce his own racing cars around about 2013. Maybe? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's only 850 cc's. It's got a 4-speed gearbox, and it's a beautiful little car.
Is that a rocket-powered go-kart?
This one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, let's have a look at this.
Yeah, that's...
is this one of the Roscoe McGlashan cars?
Yeah, Roscoe McGlashan's masterpiece, 405 kilometres an hour.
Now, look, a few of my viewers who are from around the world might not know of Roscoe Gilation. Can you tell us a bit about what you know of?
Well, he's building a car at the moment, this big blue thing here. It's a rocket car. He's going to have another go at the world land speed record.
And this was, he did have it, how fast did you say he went in this?
405 kilometres an hour.
That is horrifying, isn't it?
This is for the parachutes. I've got the parachutes in the office, and I'm going to hang them down from the roof. And he had a parachute for himself as well, and I've got the 3 parachutes. So
this would have all been full of the fuel, obviously. That looks like some sort of fuel.
Hydrogen peroxide and oxygen.
Okay.
When you mix them together, they convert to steam extremely fast.
Yeah, okay.
And just, as Roscoe said, it's just an adrenaline rush with his head here and all this stuff happening 6 inches away.
You can't even imagine the heat that's coming out of that, can you? The noise,
yeah, the noise. He said, just unbelievable, even with his...
And I'm at this red thing must be his parachute release or something, is it?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm not too sure how the...
Not too game to fire up and take it down Avon Terrace, is that what you're telling me?
No, I don't know how they release them. It's
looks like
it
might have something to do with this.
Oh yeah.
Some sort of cable activated system, no doubt.
Something to pull them out. Because once the air got them, they just...
Yeah, for sure. So we're just standing here next to a Messerschmitt, and John's got a bit of information about it. Let's hear all about it.
Okay. It's got a little 200cc motor, and when you drive along and you want it to go into reverse, you turn the motor off, put your key in a little bit further, turn it on again. It's got 2 sets of solenoids, so the motor will start running in the opposite direction.
Wow.
So you've got 4 speeds in reverse as well as forward. And when you want to go forward again, you've got to stop the car, turn the motor off, pull the key back that little bit and turn it on, and then you're going forward again.
How's that for
And this is really good for those people that like cigarettes when you're driving along. If there's a little ashtray, and if you don't want the ash blowing in your face, you can just flick that across there, see, and drive along and smoke, and then just flick it back, butt out your cigarette.
Yep.
So it's got all the mod cons. It's got all the good stuff. You know, Dad gets in the death seat here, sits up front, and Mum and Junior sit in the back there.
You could almost fit. Yeah, I think you're right. You probably could fit Mum and Junior, but no one else. How's the luggage space?
Oh, that's great, isn't it? Yeah, you keep your road map there in case you get lost.
Yeah, sure. The motor must be in the rear.
Yeah, the motor's at the back. It's a little 200cc, like a motorbike engine, really air-cooled. Yep. Very economical, very aerodynamic.
And I'm assuming that the design concept was around the narrow bodies of the Messerschmitt aircraft, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Used the same factory tooling.
Messerschmitt didn't actually design it, but he built it.
Yeah, okay. How's the wheel size on that? Makes the wheels on a Mini look big, don't they? Yeah, I don't think it'd go that well in the potholes on the country roads. We've now come to an interesting part of the collection where a lot of the race cars are, or ex-race cars. And you see the first car behind me there in maroon is a Ford Speedster. Now, it's a single-seater, and we're all familiar with the name, Speedster. Let's have a bit of a closer look here. It is a 1928A model, according to the documentation. Looks like it's been hotted up a bit, converted to a narrow body. You can see there by the modifications where it has got the fuel filler at the back, single windscreen, still running the 4-cylinder motor, but would have been a cracker on the dirt tracks. See the leaf suspension. Next to a 1955 Maybach race car. This is the Chevy Corvette motor. According to the documentation, 414 brake horsepower, and was timed at about 245 kilometres an hour at Bathurst. The first car to ever exceed 150 mile an hour. Have a look at it. It would be very terrifying. Oh, got a flat back tyre. Next to that, we've got a little midget racer. These things did run little V8s, these cars, if I know correctly. Yep, so looks like it'd be a bit of fun back in the day. And next to that, we've got a sprint speed car, which is a dirt track oval racing car. Looks like it's got a 6-cylinder motor of some sort in there, I'm guessing. Fremont Speedway legend, this car. A 2.5 litre grey motor, old grey motor. And here we've got an Indy race car from back in 1954. Just have a look at the trumpets down the side of that. Absolute beauty. Now, I don't know what sort of speed these cars get up to, but with those tyres on it, And that seating position looks pretty curious. Has the engine starter on the front here. Connected straight to the crank, no doubt. Just coming in a bit closer here to try and have a look in the cockpit. Oh, yeah, it looks interesting. Oh my goodness, have a look at this, where the gearbox is, right between your legs. That's the steering wheel. Smith's gauge with the red line set at 6,000 RPM. It's a big V8, I understand, is it, John?
Yeah, that's a V8.
Yep. It's a big car, isn't it?
This is a V8, that's a 6.
And that lever on the outside, is that the gear? Oh, what would that be for, do you think? This one here.
I really don't know.
Unless it's a clutch or something, possibly. And what pedals we got down there? Oh no, we've got 3 pedals there, so...
Yeah, and your clutch and brake would be in there.
Yeah, they are. Well, if anyone knows what this might be for, put in the comments. I'm pretty interested to know. The trumpets hanging outside of each side of the motor.
Possibly a handbrake. I don't know. It's got resistance, so it could be a handbrake.
And this is a 1954 car with disc brakes, which is pretty extraordinary for its age.
This little race car, it's just direct drive.
Oh yes, okay.
When you whack it in gear, flick this across so it locks it, holds it in gear, and that's it. It's just, it only goes forward, won't go reverse. Once you get in gear, that's it.
Now,
pull it out of gear.
I know that this is an old speedway dirt track car. So seeing this here is now I understand why this is here. So this is support because it's an Indianapolis car. It's only going around one bend. It all makes sense to me now.
So
how's the fuel filler? Look at the size of that thing.
Yeah, you get in pretty quick.
Yeah, you wouldn't have any breathing issues.
You don't want to have too much time filling up.
Well, they used to use alcohol and
use
stuff
a lot
like
of
that.
fuel.
Yeah, they used to use alcohol or something back in the day, didn't they? I still do.
Oh yeah, they use high octane, really high octane stuff.
All these cars got the gearbox down between the legs on the drive.
There's no gearbox, it's just a straight drive.
Oh, that's a straight drive?
Yeah,
okay.
You just kick them into gear and away you go. You got your throttle, you got your brake, and you just pray.
What about that drive shaft that's spinning around between your legs as well?
Oh, that's alright, you just don't drop your chewing gum on it.
Yeah, no, don't. Oh, this is a car I saw earlier with the...
this thing's got like now, I jacked it up, I've got a...
This is the Maybach, isn't it?
Yeah. This thing went flat on us and I tried to pump it up because it's got a flat spot.
Geez, have a look at the size of those fin drums on the back. Look at the cooling and those things. And the front. Oh my goodness, have a look at that. So these they're all finned up for the braking there. Are they just not a drum brake? That's a
disc, I think.
Yeah, it's a disc, and internally. They had those on
I don't really know much about the braking.
That style of brake looks like it's the early, similar to the optional brake available on the early Carrera cars.
Yeah,
prior to annular discs, I believe they're called.
Possibly is.
But not very common. It was sort of like the very first evolution of disc brake.
Yeah.
Before they figured out how to do it properly is probably the best way to describe
I'm
it.
not the man to talk racing cars because I don't really know much about it.
Oh, look, you can see the leaf spring through the body there at the back. Have a look. This is the most spacious cockpit we've seen so far in any of these race cars. Park brake, gear shifter, another speedster style seat, enough space next to you for a fire extinguisher. Sort of trailing after the suspension inside the cabin there, and I'd say it is under the seat belt here as well. Yeah, it is. That's the end of my tour of York Motor Museum today. I've had a great time, been shown around by John, learned some really interesting stuff about some of the cars that are on display here. If any of you viewers are actually from Perth or in Perth on holiday, take the Sunday trip or Saturday trip or any day of the week trip out here and come and check it out, because without support of people like you, places like this don't exist, and we all love visiting these sorts of places when we get the opportunity. So I'd like to thank all the volunteers for all the work they do here. It gives us the opportunity to see a lot of this motoring history and pass it on to the generations to come. So thanks for watching my video today, and I look forward to catching up with you next time.